to know the impact of the interest rate decision and these tariffs on businesses big and small, as well as on your wallet as well. So joining us to talk about that, Janae Adams, a debt expert and speaker, Todd McFall, an economics professor at Wake Forest University. Janae, we'll start with you. When you heard the decision about the interest rates today, where did your mind go with the impact on people's pocketbooks?
So definitely those who are facing debt right now, have been waiting for these cuts to come and they still are not going to be coming. So as of right now, wherever your payments are, just pretty much bet on them staying there probably for most of the year. So if you're feeling like that this is kind of unsustainable, you may want to start trying to find ways to bring extra money in to handle those payments.
Yeah, and those interest rates for the credit cards, they're staying right where they are, right? I mean, that's definitely the impact for sure. Hey, Todd, the decision was to hold. What does that decision tell you about what the Fed is really worried about versus if they had made a different decision to raise interest rates or cut interest rates?
So the Fed has to walk a really tight line of allowing for unemployment to be as low as possible while not creating an inflationary environment. If the Fed was worried about inflation ramping up, they would have raised interest rates today. They did not, but they also said in some of their language that they were not going to be as aggressive with rate cuts as what they would be were it not for the protectionist measures that the Trump administration is putting on. So I think on the other hand, if they had lowered rates, they would be signaling to us that they think we can handle inflation or some of the inflation that would come from the tariffs while also being worried about unemployment. So I think right now they see kind of the economy as being very strong still, but there's some headwinds that are coming. And I think there was a little bit of a warning for the Trump administration and for other countries that trade with the United States to maybe tap the brakes on the aggressive protectionist measures that we're seeing.
All right, well, let's go right into that. The tariffs are taxes. How could they impact the everyday person and their budget, Janae?
Yeah, so with the tariffs, that's one thing that Jerome Powell talked about today. In fact, they talked about it a lot, is that he said that on both sides, consumers say they don't want to pay extra money for anything, and businesses are already saying they're going to price in those hikes. And so they're thinking about what is going to break first. And so for people who are, the regular consumer, these businesses are already starting to put their prices up. I even seen it for myself yesterday going to Starbucks in South Carolina that it already went up 15 cents there. So just understand that you might be spending more money going forward because of these tariffs.
Okay, and so let's get also, the picture of it for like big businesses and things of that industry and things of that issue. What industry, Todd, do you think is going to be impacted most when we are looking at these tariffs?
So let's think about it in two different ways. Let's think about industries that are going to be hurt by this the most, and let's think about industries that might be helped by this the most. So let's start with the ones that I think are most worried about this. Those are going to be food producers. So what trade has done over the last 35, 40 years that's opened up global markets is allowed for U.S. farmers to really exercise their comparative advantage in providing U.S. crops to the rest of the world. And now a lot of our trade partners from China to Canada to Europe have started to place tariffs on goods that we're exporting to them. And agricultural producers are looking at this going, where are my markets going to go now? So I think that the agricultural producers are, and a lot of them have been vocal about this already, are looking at this going, this is a nightmare for us. On the other hand, if I am in the steel industry in the United States, I really like this because the steel industry in the United States has been slow to adopt new technologies, which has made it a more costly product. And we have started to import steel from places like Europe or South Korea. And now we're in a situation where if I'm a steel producer, I'm looking at this going, I don't have as much competition as I did before. This is going to be really good for me. Those sorts of industries I think are going to be helped and harmed. The one industry that I just go back to over and over again is we have really relied on Canada to provide us with lumber that we can build houses with. And if that lumber is going to get more expensive, then housing is inevitably going to get more expensive. And at a time where we desperately need more housing in many parts of the United States, I think that you can assume that that's going to be an industry that's going to be hit by this, which means construction jobs are probably going to become more scarce. If you're someone who is making concrete, you're probably looking at this going, I'm not sure where things are going in terms of my ability to provide this service or this good. So, like to me, like really, really, basic foundational ideas of what we have in the economy are going to be hurt by this because we are not dealing with traditional trade partners in the way that we've grown accustomed to.
Yeah, winners and losers definitely in different industries. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the housing, especially since we have a housing deficit all over the nation, including right here in Greensboro. I got about 30 seconds or so, Janae, for people who are like, oh, I don't even pay attention to what they do with the interest rates or whatever. Why do I care?
You need to care because it affects your wallet. It's about how much money you're paying on your debt. And then also for those that are savers, you still have some time to actually save money and have those higher interest rates on those savings accounts. Now, once they cut savers, you're going to lose out. And those who have debt are going to actually start winning, but those cuts are not coming anytime soon.
All right, we appreciate your time and expertise from you both. Thank you very much for talking about the tariffs and the interest rates. We want to let you know that this interview is going to be on our website, WFNYnews2.com, in the Two Wants to Know section of our website.